What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of the Magnolia Made podcast. Um, Jumping right into it, future games coming up this week, Matt. We got a lot going on. I know we had events the last couple weeks across the state, but here we are, biggest event of the summer with future games, the junior future games, and the senior future games coming up. So we're going to turn the page to that stuff today. Talk about that before we head over to Atlanta tomorrow. But yeah, we'll highlight those standouts like we talked about from those the Hattiesburg and the Oxford Summer ID, and then go over the future games roster and kind of what to expect this week. How are things going over in Mississippi, man?
Good, man. A big week. I think it's a lot of our most exciting week of the year. Some cool things can happen for a lot of people this week. So we're excited about getting out there. I think I'm leaving tomorrow morning. I think you guys are as well.
Yep.
Really exciting week. It's a long week. It's for directors and staff. It's a long week because you're covering basically 3 games per day for different age groups. You're there all day and all night. But when you come back home and you see things start to happen, especially for that 2026 class. Well, this year with the 2025s, the uncommitted 2025s is a really good opportunity for them. So, starting, I look, man, I guess the 2025s can be offered the day of, but August 1st is going to be a big day for a lot of 2026s. And then, of course, our junior futures are kind of putting their footprint in the whole recruitment process as well. So excited about it, man. Fun week.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I think temperatures are in the low to mid 80s. That's exciting for us, making those long days a little better. And hopefully we get to dodge some rain as well. I think there's some rain in the forecast. But anyways, should be a good week in Atlanta, like we said. Let's jump right into actually, hey, before we get on those past 2 events, we added a summer ID after the future games on August 17th at Hines Community College. So the Mississippi Summer ID is up on the site for anybody interested in that. And then we've also got the Alabama-Mississippi border battle posted as well. So that invite-only event will take place in, I think it's October 12th and 13th, 11 and 12. What was it? 12 and 13.
12th and 13th. We've also got another event. Let me pull this up right here. I can go ahead and tell you what day it is. It hasn't been posted yet, I don't think. But we're going to do an event on September 7th also at Gulf Coast Community College.
Okay, so an event down there around the Gulf, that'll be good. So another fall ID, and I'm sure there may be another one added there.
We're going to add at least another one after that. So we're looking at maybe 3 or 4 events in the fall, but we still have that last August 17th event. That'll be hot, but it'll be a good way to finish off your summer and make sure people know who you are heading into the fall and spring. So.
For sure. I just want to throw that out there. I knew we had added those last week. We didn't discuss that before we hopped on. So,
yeah.
All right, let's turn the page to that Hattiesburg Summer ID. We're going to talk about that briefly. That was ran, what was that? Let's see, what was the date there? It was a couple weeks back, July 2nd. It's Southern Miss. We're just going to highlight some standouts since we've been off for a couple weeks. So
that event, I think the last minute, we had a bunch of signups. I think going into the event, 2 or 3 days out, we had about 30 kids. We ended up having like 58 with some really good players there. We've got, as you can see through the quick hits, Preston Anderson's going to be a senior at Forest County. Just does a lot of things across the board that are consistent. And we feel like he's got a chance to draw some interest heading into his senior year. So look forward to seeing them, these guys play. And a lot of these guys are from this area, so hopefully I'll get out and get a chance to highlight some of them during their spring season. But they've got a big fall ahead of them. Hopefully they know what they're doing as far as getting in the weight room and preparing for their senior year, especially these 2025s. So Connor Kazanave.
Yeah,
that's it, right?
Yeah,
I sent him a message earlier, and I told him, "Hey, man, how you pronounce your name?" So I don't want to screw that up too bad. But I tell you what, he's very intriguing to me. I saw him pitch at West Jones earlier in the year, and he's a big, strong kid, but he's got some looseness to his arm action. There is a tweet out on him on our Twitter page if any colleges that are listening want to go look at it. It's long and loose and fluid. and he's a big, strong kid. He's been up to I think he was up to 86 that day. No, 86.
Yeah.
But I think there's a little bit more in there, man. And he's just an intriguing arm to me that I think maybe coming on the scene a little late. When I say a little late, a lot of times these arms come on the scene as sophomores and juniors. He's kind of into his senior year, right? He's a senior. He'll be a senior, right?
Yep.
Yeah. He's coming into it, and for a program that's got space, man, he's a guy you want to get out and watch. So look forward to seeing him in the spring too. And then Deuce Jenkins, look, man, Deuce is Deuce could have went to the future games this year as a 2027 and fit in really nice. He's a big, strong kid, got tons of left-handed pop, current pop. He's going to have more, but he's got current pop. He's built like a running back, linebacker, strong kid. I think he had some upper 90 exit velocities. He's probably touched 100 at some point, but that day I think he was up into the high 90s. But he can spray the ball around. He's definitely going to pull the ball over the wall in right field, but he's going to have that kind of power that can get it out to left field too. So he's dangerous to all fields, and a guy that is another year away from being able to really sit down with recruiters, but they're all drooling over this, I'm sure. So Cooper Rayburn. Cooper's been a very consistent arm. Just about everywhere we see him. He's comes to quite a few of our events, and he just continues to progress up to 87 miles an hour off the bump. He also a position player too that should have some options moving forward, but we really like him as a pitcher right now. And that's not to say we don't like him as a position player, but kills the spin on his changeup, arm side action, or the action on his fastball and his changeup, the action on his changeup. It plays really nice off his fastball, so we look forward to seeing him as well. Landry Winter, I think he had the top velo of the event. I had not seen him yet, and I think he's been into the low 90s. He was up to 89 that day. But from Upor, which we don't, we don't see Upor very often, but he's a guy that you might want to go out and check out. I think he's committed to East Central now. Is that correct?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. But definitely an arm that looks like he's headed towards 4 years. So I mean, he's also got a good frame and loose arm. So look forward to seeing more of him. Maddox Perry had a really good day. Athletic kid from Germantown. What was he up to that day? He was
86.
He was up. No, Maddox Perry was up to 80 that day. Right. Sorry. Yeah, 80. But a little wiry arm. He's a position player also. Can swing the bat. So he's a guy we want to follow. He's just a 2027, so he's got a little time too. Quentin Rubin, huh?
He ran a 6'7", 160.
Yeah,
as well.
Man. Yep. Yeah, he's got some talent. He's moving in a really good direction. I'll get to see him a little bit too because they're in Oak Grove's district. So I'm guessing he's going to maybe be able to produce a little bit for him this year. Quentin Rubin. Quentin had a really good day. Quentin used to be at Oak Grove. He moved to Hattiesburg, but he I don't know. I think there's he took some swings that were inconsistent, but that swing right there that you're seeing, he's got a little bit of pop. That swing right there, the more consistent he gets with those type of swings, I think he's going to be a guy that can be of give some production to a college. He's probably a guy who will go JUCO first. But if I was a JUCO program, I definitely want to follow him around and kind of keep watching him. Does a good job on defense too, and just all around solid player. So William Parker, Will stuck out. Will's got a big body. He's a strong kid. The frame, if you're just looking at it, I spoke to him. I told him, kind of looks like a football player, and he does play football at Biloxi. But look, that body right there, leaned up, could do a lot of damage. He's already into the high 90s with his exit velocity. He was I want to say he was a
188 to 197.
Yeah, I mean his pop times were like right on the money too with his throws. All 3 or 4 of them were right on the target, and it was really consistent to watch. Good footwork, but I think he's as a baseball player, you probably want to lean down a little bit, but he's a guy, man, that you got to go out and watch him in the spring. He's uncommitted. and he can play at the next level. So.
All right. Little brief run through the Hattiesburg Summer ID that was held back on July 2nd at Southern Miss. And then,
I'll say this: there's several guys that went to both of these events that probably could have, the 2025 is really who I'm talking about. That could have probably went with us to the senior futures, but we just didn't have a lot of space. We only had so much space for, next year this event might be even bigger, so we might take our own team. But it is what it is, and some of these guys that didn't get an invite to that are still headed towards college baseball.
Yeah, and then we held a couple weeks later. We went over to the farm up in Oxford, Mississippi, on July 10th. Had another open event, consisted of some guys from the 25 through 27 classes, and obviously the first one here could be a future gamer next year. Probably will be a future gamer next year. So go ahead.
Yeah, he's moving. I mean, he's probably going to get an invite. I might go ahead and stick it in my folder right now. But Cruz is moving. He's kind of like Deuce. He's got that crazy left-handed power. It's already there. He was into the high 90s that day. Let me move so I can see exactly where he was. It might have it on that.
I think he topped out at 98.
Yeah, was he the highest of the day?
I think so.
Yeah. So I mean, he's also a good player all around. He's not just a bat. He was up to 96, I think.
Hold on. 87 from the outfield. Yeah, I was about to say
I've seen him on the mound. He actually threw an inning. I think he threw. You were there when we had the top prospect games at Mississippi State.
Yeah,
we needed a pitcher. I knew he could pitch, but he wasn't planning on pitching, and he got up on the mound, and I think he was 84, 85 that day.
Yeah, it looked good too.
So I remember asking him, why didn't you want to pitch, man? But yeah, he's another arm. He's part of a Tri-County team that's got some good talent. Tri-County Academy. They actually won state last year, so he's part of a program that's got some up and coming players. I got to get over there and watch them play, man, because they've got several guys we've had at junior futures and stuff too. So, but yeah, Cruz is headed and moving in a good direction also. Tanner Brannigan. Tanner was you were at this event too. So I remember sitting in the back. This Tanner had I'll be honest, he had an okay day at the plate. He had an okay day defensively. When I say okay, look, he's a 2027. He's got some work ahead of him, like all 2027s do. And then he stepped on the mound, and I was like, "Oh, this looks really good." So I'm really interested. Like a few of these kids, I think we've got another kid on here that I feel the same way about. The next calendar year, the next year, we want to see how serious they are. We want to see them. Are you going to get in the gym and do the things that it takes to move up and keep progressing to the level that you're dreaming of? So. Tanner had the body of a guy who could move in a really, really good spot. Caden Cole, I've liked Caden. He's also a top prospect game that went to Mississippi State with us. Warren Central kid. I've liked him for a while. He's progressively getting stronger. The body is already really solid as far as what you're looking for out of a young prospect. Another 2027 that's going to be. I think just like a lot of these kids, the strength is going to, play a big part in where he's headed. So just not quite sure what level of prospect he's going to be at the moment, but he's a prospect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had an all around good day.
He did. Yeah. Garrett Latham. Garrett's another guy. He's a 2026 who would have fit in good at the future games too. And does everything right, man. With this event, we had several kids that get up to the plate and on defense, they look the part, and they will be on somebody's radar. They're probably on somebody's radar now, but in this coming year, they're gonna have some conversations going on with some colleges and trying to figure out where they're gonna settle in. And Latham is definitely one of those guys too.
Yeah, he ran a 6.63 on the day. Had several mid-90s exit velos. Really good day at the plate with him.
Really good body too.
Mm-hmm.
John Griffin Lane might have been, to me, he could have when he got on the mound. I was like, whoa, this is I had never heard of him. I think I'd heard the name, but I didn't really know much about him. He's at Magnolia Heights, and that program is what it is. It's so good. I can't find a lot of information on him during the season as far as statistically, but I would imagine that arm played pretty well. I loved his arm. He said I think he said he had no offers. Is that what he said?
That's what he said.
That will change. Hopefully it's already changed because that kid is a college pitcher. He could go in there right now and pitch. Velocity was at 86 maybe? I'm not sure exactly. It was here.
Up to 87.
Yeah, up to 87, but I promise you more is coming with that. That was a very just the one of those bodies you dream on. He's 6'4", 180 pounds. So I would be interested to see if he still hasn't received a phone call from anybody, because that'd be crazy. Cole Stanfield, Cole's dad and me grew up together. I had yet to see him really up close, but he looked really good, man. He's raw. He's got some mechanical things that I feel like, I'm not going to say anything negative about any pitching coaches or anything, but if we all have different thoughts, you're a pitcher, so you would probably have little things about him that you would tweak. There's definitely things about him that I would tweak, but I think with a few mechanical adjustments and eating right and getting in the gym, this kid could move into a decent prospect status. He was up to near 80, but there were some things maybe restricting his delivery and causing that. I mean, I feel like I could have him in one day and maybe move him up to 82, 83. But he's definitely a prospect guy that I feel like is going to get some play for the next level. Preston Downs. I saw Preston in the first round of the playoffs this year. He had multiple hits that day. Just finds the barrel and has some pop behind it. He's got a couple offers right now, and I think he'll end up getting more. But there's some juice there. He did a good job behind the plate. I can't read. I mean, I'm what is that? A 194? I think he had a 194. It's 194 and 75 mile an hour behind the plate. I mean, those are very adequate numbers. Very good numbers. Everybody thinks you got to be really below a 2, way below a 2. College coaches want a 2. They want a 2. They're not. A 2 on the money is as good as you is perfect. And he's a guy that can get under that and can swing the bat a little bit too. So looking forward to seeing where he ends up. Josh Scruggs, big 6'5". I think he's about 6'5",
Mm-hmm.
and yeah. He's another arm that's got a little work. I liked his arm. I liked his delivery. It was lean. It was loose. It was kind of fluid and smooth. Didn't look like a lot of exertion happening. But I don't know what he's like in the weight room. But more explosiveness could make this kid a power arm. I think he was up to mid-80s too, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you for sure.
385.
Yeah, up to 85. Everything works. There's at that age, at 16, 15, 16, 17, you age, you really haven't had time to get in the weight room. I'm dealing with that at my own house with my son. There's a few kids out there like Luke Romine. Luke Romine is stronger than me and you put together. But he's been serious about the weight room. Some of these kids, once they get serious about the weight room, you're talking about Josh Scruggs maybe being a low 90s arm. I mean, everything, the delivery works. So another calendar year guy. Let's see where he is in a year. So good talent. Huh?
Yeah, I have to bring this up. You got some clarity on those Oxford TikToks that week.
I did. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Had to bring it up. That's all we'll say. We'll just leave it there.
There's a couple guys that I've got my eye on now that Josh tattled on. I'm just kidding. He didn't say anything.
All right, let's turn the page to this week. The future games obviously is the highlight of the week coming up. That'll take place Tuesday through Saturday. Let's see. Check-in for all players will be on Tuesday. Wednesday we'll have the showcase pro style workout for all players, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday going into some gameplay. I know Matt Matt's going to touch base on his roster and some things like
That's
that.
the same thing on for all the guys going the junior futures and the senior futures. Can we can I go through the junior futures and the senior futures real quick, and we'll finish with the future games?
Yeah, we'll go juniors.
The junior futures. So looking at this roster, we've had a few of these kids. I want to say 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5, maybe up to 6 have already been with us to the future games. You got Kipton Briggs, Beckett Haley. Hey, have you seen Beckett?
I have not.
Beckett's 6'8", I think. 6'7" or 6'8", 13-year-old.
What?
He's Talon Haley's little brother, Gage Haley's little brother. So they got some athletic genes, and this kid, man, he looks like a basketball player walking around, but
I'd say so.
Yeah. Parker Hawkins was with us last year from Sumrall. Jackson Harrod was with us, I believe. Ethan Kilo was with us. Asher Lawson, I don't believe, was with us. Was he with us? Man, these names run together for me with these younger guys because there's a select few younger guys you know of, and these names are all names I know well, but they kind of run together because I'm just waiting on them to get to a little older, get older and get into high school where we can really go out and see them play, because it's hard to find them in the middle of the summer because they're all spread out with their travel ball teams and stuff. But these are all guys that are going to be big, productive guys at their high schools. Asher Lawson, Dawson Lewis, Dawson's a 2029. Eli McDaniel, we know Eli through his brother. Who's that? Oh, Dawson McMillan, we know through his brother, Mason. Ethan Party was with us last year. Drew Stanton, power hitting guy. Bowen Vaughn, a big lefty that I really like his arm and where he's headed. Axton Westmoreland, same thing, like where he's heading. And then Case and Wiggins, man. I just think that team's going to be fun. Got a chance to advance. This is the only part of the future games that there's a bracket play at the end, and I'm kind of either way with it. I wish it was more about just showcasing the player, but at 14U, we want to give them a little bit of chance to go out there and kind of keep moving. But some of these kids were there last year. They'll see that some of the colleges will kind of trickle down and watch them because they kind of want to see what's coming also in the state of Mississippi. So you'll see some SEC coaches walking around and following these guys as well. But they're going to be good. They're going to be fun to watch. So.
Yeah, those bracket play games are fun, man. Those kids get into it.
Yeah.
It's a good atmosphere. It's fun.
I got to hit, the Easley Baseball is going to help me out with this guy. The coaches for Easley, Chris Snopek and Easley Baseball, they all help us out quite a bit. One of the coaches for Easley Baseball sent me messages yesterday and said, "Hey, man, I know the future games is about showcase." He said, "But junior futures, we ready to win." So I was like, all right, go do it.
Mm-hmm. They're giving away national office is giving away a belt to the winning team to hold on for a year. So
is it sunglasses too to the winning team?
I think it was. Yeah,
I think sunglasses too for the winning team. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right, and then moving on, we got the senior futures.
Yeah, we didn't. Well, I don't have them in an article here.
Okay, I've got them right here. We've so the senior futures is we've got a team with it's called the Deep South team. So it'll be us, Tennessee, and Alabama. So we only had space for about 24 players, something like that. So we only had so many spots. So some of our events, these last few events, we've been pulling players and inviting players for that. So I'm gonna kind of go over our group. We've got from I pulled the wrong team. Oh, here it is. From Mississippi on the Deep South team, representing the Deep South team. And these are all 2025 uncommitted player only. They can only be 2025 uncommitted. So they're going to be playing at 6 o'clock, I think, the first night, or their workout is at 6 o'clock. But they're going to be right in front of all of these colleges that are there in attendance for the future games, and every single one of these guys is available. That's the cool thing about it. So from Mississippi, we're going to have Colin Fleury from Boonville. Colin's a catcher. I think we've got him. I'm sorry, he's not a catcher. He's a lot of these kids are listed as certain positions on their website, but we're bringing him in to play other positions. So we've got Colin Fleury from Boonville. We've got Landon Hawkins. Some of you guys may know Landon. Landon through Game 3 of the state championship with a broken nose, and he's still uncommitted. Got some offers, but still uncommitted. He'll be moving around the infield with us. Cannon Henserling was a future gamer last year, still uncommitted. He's been up to 91 in some of our events, our last event. A guy that's got some offers as well, and we're excited about what he can do out there. And I'm sure he'll get some big looks. We've got Alex Love, lefty from my son played with this kid this summer. Alex is a left-handed arm that's going to play 4 years of college baseball and needs to be locked up soon. Barrett McKinney. Barrett was a Missouri State commit. He is backed out of that commitment due to coaching change. Very talented player. We look forward to watching him out there as well. And then we've got Connor Simpson. Connor's I think he may be our only dual guy going. Connor's a left-handed pitcher that gets up near 90, plays the outfield really well, left-handed side of the plate. So, I mean, we've got some talented guys going, and they're all available, and that's what's cool about this is, I know we're there. The 26s are kind of the main attraction, but these 25s we're taking out there, and I'm sure it's the same way with Alabama because they're always loaded. I'm sure with Tennessee. These are some studs we're taking out there that are still on the market, man. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's going to be a big time event.
Yeah, I'm glad they did this, just because there's some guys that there's a lot of 2025s in the state that's still available. We've got a two-time at Oak Grove. We've got a two-time future gamer named Gage Thompson who went 8-0, I think, last year with a .9 ERA. His junior year, he's still available too. So I mean, there's a lot of 2025s that just haven't decided yet. So look forward to this event.
Yeah. Let's turn it over to the future games. I know I briefly went over this little outline here. Check-ins Tuesday for all those guys. Showcase workouts on Wednesday for all players, like we've already mentioned, junior futures, senior futures, and future games. And then Thursday through Saturday, we'll have one game each day for the futures. So, Matt, I'll let you talk about your roster a little bit and those guys who are coming to the future.
I can't even see that low, but I'm gonna.
You mean read them to you?
No, I can see it. I think I can see a little better. Y'all see me do this sometimes. It's my bifocals right here. So people, I wonder if people know that that's what I'm doing. Because watch this. When I do that, I'm just looking at my bifocals. So this event this year, every year the future games gets better. And I'm gonna say it again. I'm pretty arrogant when it comes to the future games. I'm arrogant anyway, but look, there's nothing out there like this. Nothing. Nowhere there's nothing like this. And every kid that comes to this event leaves knowing that. Every kid that doesn't go to this event that was invited to it will never know. And I feel so bad for kids that are invited and decide not to go because look, I've said this before, and I use Oak Grove a lot because I'm at a lot of Oak Grove games because my son Matt. If a junior college coach shows up to watch their game, there's rumbling. There's like the kids get excited.
Mm-hmm.
There's and this isn't a knock on junior college. I'm just saying if a college coach shows up, everybody knows it in the dugouts.
Yep.
Well, this event, everybody's there. Every college coach in America is there at the D1 level, and a bunch of junior colleges now. Because I would think for the most part, most of these players are going to go junior college or D1, and nothing in the middle yet. Okay, and I say that I went to Division II Delta State. I love Division II Delta State. I'm completely behind it. But generally, the kids that go to this event are guys that feel like they're headed towards D1 or a D1 opportunity. And if they don't go D1, they want to go junior college to maybe give them another chance to go D1 later. So, so you'll see most of those guys there. And on the Division I side, every one of them are there. And it's not just one of them. It's basically most of their staff there. So these guys are in for a treat, man. It's an overwhelming thing to see, even as a guy like myself. And I'm sure there's other guys that have played got the chance to play like I did that walk through there and are amazed as well. There's videos out there of, I want to say Les from California took a video a couple years ago, kind of walking in when he walked into that side. and just everywhere the video panned was recruiter, and it was just you don't even see the parents because there's recruiters everywhere. It's crazy. So I'm excited for these guys. You won't know what I'm talking about until you get there.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we've got. I'll go through these guys. Nelson Barthel, our catching guys. Nelson Barthel and JD Harvey right now are 2 catchers we're taking. We try to create this roster based on positional type stuff. So it's kind of built like a pro team. So if you're a guy on this roster that's and I'll get into it earlier, like our POs. Most of our POs are very good position players too. So it's not a knock on them. It's just kind of building the roster. But our catchers, 2 very good catchers in the 2026 class, maybe the top 2 overall, in my opinion, Nelson Barthel and JD Harvey. JD also will probably throw an inning. But yeah, man, they're just dynamic players. Big Thunder bat in John Lindsay. John can also catch too. He can also play third base. But like I said earlier, we want to get John's bat in the lineup because he can flat out mash. I mean, he's got some crazy pop. His dad played in the big leagues, so he's a left-handed hitter that you'll want to watch hit. Bankston Walters. Bankston's a two-way guy. A lot of attracting a lot of people right now. He threw really well this spring in high school. Tate Murphy. Tate's not your typical body that you would look for at third base. He's smaller frame, but got some punch, and he's got a lot of character too. And look, when I say character, I mean he just kind of, you just look at him and know he's a ball player. He's a little dirtbag type player that seems to be kind of a leader, with the way he talks, and it just the kind of guy that I would want on my team. So Trent Buckley is our only 2027 guy. He's the number 1 27 guy in the class, in the 27 class. He's, to me, an arm that we're taking. He can swing the bat, with as well as anyone here. But I just feel like it's for these the 2026 class is a showcase class. But a guy like Trent, you want to go ahead and start getting him out there and get him involved with this type of stuff. Everybody kind of gets to know him because he's also a guy that may be moving into a position where he's going to attract a lot of pro scouts too. So we're taking that. He'll be the only. I think he's the only 2027 we're taking. We did offer another spot for 2027, but Trent looks like he's going to be the only one there, and he'll be worth the watch. So really dynamic player, Justin San Miguel.
I'm going to interrupt you. That's a strong little middle infield core right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
And that's what I'm saying. There's other guys in the state that could be on this team. But when you start, building this roster, if you have 2 guys for one position, I mean, you only got spot for one of them, it's tough to say, to not invite the other one, but it happens, it's part of it. So,
yep.
Justin San Miguel, man, look, he's as far as rankings go, I think, sometimes the rankings are not my most favorite part because it's just so many ways you can go with this. He's a guy that could be one as well. He's just a dynamic player, and people are about to see him.
Yeah. And hey, real quick.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he transferred to Ocean Springs.
Did he really?
Yeah. Because I was looking at his profile. Hold on. We'll go in here. This was updated in here last week.
Oh, I did not know that.
So we'll go back and change that, but he is at Ocean Springs now.
Okay. Well,
so I just know I guess I didn't tell you, but I just saw it on his profile when we were.
Well, I know Resurrection Catholic will hate losing him. Is Catholic spelled wrong too?
No, you got it right.
Okay. Well, I didn't know that, but I'll see him this week and talk to him a little bit. But Caden Nelson, Caden's another guy like Tate Murphy. Caden's not a big kid. He is a smaller framed dude. Can swing it, can pick it. Just a guy you want to make sure you get out and watch. And it seems like every year we take a couple of guys that are similar to Caden, And one that comes to mind is Braden Moranto. Braden is a guy that we took that small in stature, but just a big dude on the field. He's committed to Southern Miss now. And he's one of my favorite players that I've had. So, who we got next? Justin Word, same thing. You're right, man. This is a very talented middle infield. Justin Word, I saw Justin face, and this isn't a knock on Landon because Landon Harmon knows he's going to give up a line drive here and there, even though he throws 96, 98. But Justin squared him up in the state championship, and so you can tell that velocity is not something he's going to. I mean, they're all going to deal with it. They're all going to be struggle with it at times. But that particular at bat, Justin looked really, really good, man. And so, and he's always looked that way. So, really excited about seeing him out there.
Yep.
He's one of my picks to click for the weekend.
Yeah, and they're going to get velocity all weekend. So
yeah, I mean, I can't remember very many arms at this event below 85.
Yeah,
we and the thing is, most of the guys that are maybe a touch below 85 are projectable to be a lot higher.
Yeah,
I think I saw an arm last year. It was 77, 78, lefty from Louisiana. That guy is probably going to play pro ball. His dad played pro ball. It's lefty named Lawrence. I loved watching it. But yeah, so some of these arms that they do see, if they're not in mid 80s or above, they're probably going to be there. So, but anyway, yeah, you're right. They're going to see a lot of velocity. Will Bazat, he's I don't know if I'm saying that right either, but another infielder in the state of Mississippi that's got plenty of upside. So this infield group, man, is going to be special. It's going to be fun to watch. I like watching the defensive portion of the workout because I love hands. Baylor Roberts, love his hands. He's a 2025 committed to Arkansas or Alabama Birmingham. His hands are beautiful. We just wanted to mention just the hands part of this event, and seeing that is fun to watch. So this group's kind of I can't wait to see it. All right, let's move to the outfielders. Got Tyner Flint, another dual guy. Tyner's been up to like high 80s with his velocity from the left side. Him and Caden Prestage are both pure hitters, man. They can swing the bat. They drive the baseball to all fields. Neither one of them are home run hitters, even though they've got the pop to do it. Caden hit a walk-off home run 2 years ago in the Junior Future Games to send them to like the semifinals, maybe even the final. I'm not sure, but it was deep into the tournament. So they both got the pop to do it. But Tyner Flint and Caden Prestage are definitely going to be, squaring the baseball up to all fields. And they're fun to watch, kind of that Tony Gwynn type look. So you got who we got now?
Henry Apt.
And then you got Henry Apt and EJ Booth, who had a little bit more power. But Apt came to one of our events at Jackson Prep, and I think his first swing was 100. He's coming along. He's also can pitch. He can jump on the bump and throw it in the mid to upper 80s. So he'll get an inning out there as well. EJ Booth, like we said, adds another element with it that takes your game to the next level. He's the fastest kid I've seen. I know there's guys out there, but to me, when I look at EJ, you're looking at a 6 foot, 100, 200 pound kid. And that's a little different to me than a 5'9", 160 pound kid running a 6'3". This kid runs a 6'3", and he's 6 foot, 200 pounds. So don't get in front of him.
Two-time future. He'll be a two-timer this time.
Yeah, he'll be a two-timer. He went last year as a younger player. He's a guy who will get tons of play on August 1st. So John Gray Morrison, another huge kid, outfielder, pitcher, got some major pop on a lot of guys' radars. He's been with the Junior Futures with us before too. So I when I look at this roster, I think about the 2024 pitching staff, and the 2024 pitching staff was probably one of the best I've seen in the state of Mississippi. This one not on that level, but and it's not a knock on the pitching staff, but the position players of this team stands out. The pitching staff is good, but we'll just kind of wait and see how well it looks. I think all these kids are going to play, 4 years of college baseball, and we'll have a lot of play coming up in a few weeks. But it's just that lineup just looks really, really good. So, and I hate to make it sound like I'm knocking the pitchers, but because I'm not. But that lineup looks really, really good. So who's the first guy on there? You got
Cade Sanders.
Yeah, Cade Sanders. Cade came to I think, where did he come? Was it the Easy event? No, I think no, it was our Magnolia State games. Cade came to our Magnolia State games, looked really good. He's coming back from an injury, and just to me, he's a guy. I think his brother's was at Memphis. He was a big arm in high school. Cade looks to be like he's going to be a big arm in high school. He'll be a big part of that Lewisburg rotation this year after they lost several arms. But yeah, we're looking forward to seeing him. JD Whitaker, JD come on kind of as of late. He came to the Magnolia State games as well, and he's one of those upside guys. He's already into the mid 80s, but he's a guy who I feel like the way his arm worked that day, and I think as a former pitcher myself, I look at these guys' arms and kind of just think on what they could be. And JD is one of those guys that's very intriguing to me because I feel like he's got another big bump coming up. So I look forward to seeing him out there. Taylor Latham is a former junior future game guy. He's a power arm in the 26 class. He's been up to 90 I know of, and maybe been a tick higher than that. I look forward to seeing him. He's another guy that could play a position too. So, like I said, some of these pitchers can swing it as well. Cooper Bierman, Cooper, as of late, we saw him at the Easley Scout Day, and I want to say it was like 86 that day, but he's got that frame, that lean, wiry frame that could result in jumps, pretty much very often. Apparently, he's been up to 90 at some of our events. And getting some good reports on him. So he was a name we wanted to add, or an arm we wanted to add for sure. Levi Ham, lefty. We got one lefty on this team.
Yeah,
no, we got a couple of lefties. We got a couple of
POs. You got
one. Levi, another arm that's on the way, on the move, and making his mark. So I mean, I think he's going to start one of our games. I'm not real sure, but he's one of our POs that go possibly 3 innings. But Ryder White, Ryder was a 94 from the outfield several weeks ago, I think in Hattiesburg. Ryder is another dual guy. He's definitely a two-way guy, but we just didn't have space for him. But we've been hearing a lot of good things about his arm. So we're looking forward to getting him out there. And he's a guy who might get a little adrenaline flowing and bump some 90s on that mound. So and then Jackson Meehan, one of the to me Jackson, and maybe as far as projectability, he could be really good, man. I've always liked his arm. I liked his arm a lot this January at our preseason All-State. It was a cooler day. It was early in the season, or before the season started, and I think he was mid-80s that day. This kid's going to be low 90s for sure. I don't know what he'll be at the future games, but I think he's moving towards being a really, really big-time prospect on the mound, and he's also a position player. So I mean, he's I'm not. It's not a knock on any of these POs at this event. They're just POs at this event. They're not POs all the time. Some of them may be, but for the most part, most of these guys play a position and play it well at the high school level. So,
yep.
Yes.
Let's look at the workout schedule real quick. Workout will take place with Alabama, Mississippi, and Tennessee at 9 a.m. on fields 9 and 10. And then our game schedule for the future games: Thursday, Mississippi will go up against Alabama at 10 a.m. on field 10. And before that first game, we will have on-field BP at 8:30. Friday, July 26th, Mississippi takes on Louisiana at 3:30 on field 12. There's no BP before that second and third game. And then that last game on Saturday against Arkansas at 8:30 on field 12.
I just got a message from Yarber, who is the director out there. It looks like, the uniforms this year I think are going to be the same as last year, white and black. Yep. It looks like Mississippi, for the workout, just if anybody listening, it will wear white uniforms. You'll wear your white tops. So just to plan ahead, white tops for the Wednesday workout. And I think you'll just back and forth each day with what you wear. Nope, looks like we're wearing white our first game also. So if you get a chance to wash it, fine. If not, throw some spray on it, some Axe body spray.
You want to touch
white,
on these? Oh, go ahead.
For the workout. I was just saying white for the workout. Let me see. I think he added the senior futures and junior futures too. So I can go ahead and tell you that if anybody's listening. I know this is something we'll tell them the day they get there. But for the future games, white for the workout. For the senior futures, black for the workout. So if you're listening and you're a senior future gamer, you're wearing black for the workout. And on Wednesday for the workout, Mississippi's junior futures will wear white for the workout. So just to give you an idea.
You want to touch base on these pitching rotations that are going throughout the weekend?
Okay, is that game 1 there with Alabama?
Yeah. I just came in to listen.
I think this game is at 10 o'clock, right?
10 a.m. Yeah, 10 a.m.
Yeah, so 10 a.m. on Thursday will be our first game with J.D. Whitaker starting on the bump. These guys are scheduled to go 3. We've only got a few guys scheduled to go 3. And if something happens, they only go 2. That's fine. We can add a guy an inning, or we can just go, finish with 7 innings. That's not a problem. Last thing we're going to do is force a guy to go out there and wear his arm out. I will say this: we're not going to do mound visits at all. So if it gets to a point where you're struggling in the inning, because we all do that as pitchers, we have innings that just don't go our way. If you get up to 15, 20 pitches, we're probably going to start looking at making a mound visit or making a change, just so you don't wear yourself out. You're able to go get your rest, go back out with a little bit more with a little rest to continue showing what you can do. We want to put you in the best light we can for these recruiters to allow them to see the potential you have. So don't feel like that this is of course Mississippi wants to go 3-0. We always want to go 3-0. But at the end of the day, I'll tell you a quick story. We had a pitcher a few years ago. I'm trying to think of who it is now. I don't want to, and this is not a knock on him. Who was our pitcher a few years ago that committed to Ole Miss after the event?
Was it the one from Hernando?
No, it was. I think it was Grenada Kirk.
Okay.
He went to the future games the Super 60 last year or 2 years ago. I'll think of it in just a second. But like I said, these names just run together, and sometimes I forget. But anyway, he went out and threw his first game, gave up 4 runs in the third inning, or that 1 inning. A couple of days later, he asked if he could throw another inning, and I didn't want to do it, but I allowed him to do it because I wanted him to leave with a good experience. He went out and gave up another 3 or 4 runs.
Mm-hmm.
A week later, he committed to Ole Miss. So it's not so much about statistical performances. They just want to see what you've got. And this kid also went to the Super 60. So, don't hold too much into the statistical side of how you do. We had also Leo Odom. You remember Leo Odom last year went out. Leo threw a couple, and he wouldn't care if I said this. He threw a couple of pitches off the middle of the backstop last year, gave up 3 or 4 runs in his first inning, struggled really bad. And you could tell on his face was like, and the look on his face was like, oh man, this is miserable for me. Took him behind the dugout, talked to him a little bit, went back out, threw up a 0, and he committed to Ole Miss a few weeks later. So, he's 92, 93 miles an hour, 3,300 spin rate. So it's hard to kind of control 3,300 sometimes, but yeah, so don't get too caught up on your outing. Just go out there and just show what you can do. So JD will throw game 1, Cade Sanders coming in, Ryder White for a couple of innings. And then we'll finish off with Trent Buckley just going 1. Trent's a position player, so these position players are usually or mostly only going to go 1 inning. POs will go 2, some 3. But game 2 versus Louisiana, I think that's a 3:30 game.
Yep.
They will be starting on the bump. Will be Taylor Latham. Then we'll go Cooper Bierman for 3, scheduled for 3. If Taylor goes quick, he may go 3. Followed by Levi Ham, and then John Gray Morrison will close that game out. And then on Saturday, our game is mostly going to be after Jackson Meehan starts. It'll be mostly our positional guys. J.D. Harvey will probably we want him to throw before he catches, so Jackson Meehan will probably throw to Caden Barthel, and then J.D. will pitch, and then J.D. will move the catcher. So we're trying to protect these guys. So you have J.D., then Tyner Flint, Bankston Walters, Caden Prestage, finishing off with Henry App. So really look forward to watching this group play. Every year I get really excited about our guys going over there. And I'll tell you, man, it's fun to be a part of what they're going to experience. It's fun to be a part of what they experience that week, and it's fun to be a part of what they're going to experience and hear about what they're going to experience come August 1st.
Yep.
It's cool.
You gave one answer away earlier. You talked about a pick to click. Give me 2 position guys that are gonna be your picks to click, and 2 pitchers that'll be.
I think I've already told think that I don't want to go against what I said before because I can't remember now. But Shooter asked us too. I think I want to say, the guys that I feel like could. I mean, all these guys could make a big name for themselves.
For sure.
But Justin San Miguel and Justin Word, kind of excited about. I think I might have even said EJ Booth. Everybody knows who he is now. So, but he, those guys. I'm excited to see how they do out there. And nothing against the rest of the guys, but that's just my picks to click. And then pitching. I think I'm trying to think of the guys that I might have said, but I am looking forward to seeing Jackson Meehan on the mound and J.D. Whitaker, kind of where he heads, kind of how he flows through this, and I just really liked his arm action, so I'm ready to see it again. So,
yep. Well, that's 4 guys for you. All of them could pop off. You never know who's gonna.
All these guys. Look, there's gonna be a sleeper here.
Yep.
None of these guys really are sleepers. They're all very talented, but somebody in that group that I didn't expect is going to go completely off. Last year we had Ethan Walker from Purvis had a very good week. Hit a couple home runs, threw some runners out. He ended up, I think, he committed to Pearl River, but I thought after that week he would, like I said, so statistically, sometimes the stuff doesn't matter really, but Ethan had a really good week. And I think Gage Thompson won a player of the game. That's another thing. We're going to give player of the game each game. I think it's just to the winning team though, right?
I don't remember last year.
I can't remember.
I think it was for the most part. Yeah.
But Gage won it last year. And Gage is a guy who I've seen quite a bit, so I knew he could do it, but he went out and threw up 2 zeros and maybe 5 strikeouts. So, this team's full of guys that can go out and do that. So I'm excited to see who kind of pops off and makes a statement out there.
Yeah, for sure. Got anything else you want to touch on before we hop?
Just enjoy it, man. Have a good time with this. If you're listening and you're going to the future games, just take it all in. Take as many pictures as you can and video. And if you have any issues, just reach out to me and we'll try to get it all worked out. But it's going to be a fun, enjoyable week. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, big time week ahead. A lot of stuff going on. Be the wrap up pretty much for us on the summer. I know it'll feel good to get home Monday and just sit back for a minute.
Yeah, it's a long week.
But it's awesome.
We kind of slow down a little bit, not August for until this fall starts. But it's definitely awesome.
Yep, for sure. Well, if you don't have anything else, man, that's all we've got. Just wanted to hop on and kind of touch base on where we've been the last couple weeks and what's coming up this week, obviously with the biggest uncommitted event in the country. So we'll see you guys in Atlanta, and thank you guys for tuning in to episode 12 of the Magnolia Made podcast. See you guys.
See you tomorrow, Colin.
All right.